Hello everybody, how's it going today? Glowplasma231 here, back again today to talk about Oshi no Ko. But this week we don't have an actual Oshi no Ko chapter to talk about. I mean, normally today I'd be talking about Oshi no Ko chapter number 127, but there is no chapter 127. This week we got a special chapter. I guess it would be called a special chapter, because while it doesn't seem like it is like just a one-off special chapter, it seems like it'll have a little bit of effect maybe on the story later on. But like I said, today we are talking about the first interlude of Oshi no Ko. This is Oshi no Ko Interlude 1, and there are a few special things to note about this. Really, the most important one is that this is being written entirely by the artist of the series. The actual author, who is Akasaka, he actually doesn't have anything to do with this, so it'll just be Mengo Yokoyari who is doing the story and writing everything. Thus why this chapter is also about, 6 pages, and I mean, there's just not a whole lot to it, but pretty much from what we know, the artist, Akasaka, is taking about a month or a little while off of Oshi no Ko to do some other things and not to constantly write, being that, I don't know what gender they are, if it's a male or a female. I'm sorry if I get anything wrong here, like, I'm not trying to be that kind of person, but however it works, they're taking about a month off, so Mengo Yokoyari is going to be taking over the story for a little while, and to do this, we have these sort of shorter, I think we're going to have about 4, maybe 3 of them, I don't quite know, all about Mem-Cho, because that is pretty much what this chapter is about. It's just 6 pages really just detailing Mem-Cho's whole life, sort of, and just stuff going on with her. So that's really all there is to, like, the background of it. So yeah, they're taking a little bit of a time off, so Mengo Yokoyari is taking over all of it, right? But pretty much we get started here with Mem-Cho as she's sort of just sitting there. I guess she's at a party or something, because there's a bunch of booze being drunk around, right? And we see somebody is just saying, like, she's a full-time high school goal. Whoa, it's Mem-san, right? And we see Mem-Cho, he's here just like, hey, drop the lull, right? And we see a few other people are here at this party. They're like, is it okay for high schoolers to drink some booze, right? And, like, these are 2 guys here just like, oh, wow, you're a good drinker, aren't you? Miss-san, are you a big eater too, right? And I guess it's like some content creation thing, because one of them's like, hey, let's do a collab next time, alright? And we see Mem-Cho's here just like, okay, I'll do anything. I'll do anything. And we sort of focus in on these words as we cut back to, I guess, Mem-Cho's house or studio, as she's standing here and she's got, I guess, one of her friends with her who ends up using Mem-Cho's real name, I guess, which is, we actually don't know what it is, but it's just like 3 little circles that are not like dotted, because I guess she's trying to hide her identity, right? So this lady says Mem-Cho's name is like, you sure are doing your best, huh? And Mem-Cho's like, hey, not my real name, right? And she's like, I dumped that name already. In this world, I live as a full-time high school girl, YouTuber Mem, right? And we see her friends is like, hey, you have too many likes there, don't you think, right? And she's just like, hey, I'm finally on track now. I can't miss my chance. As we see that she grabs a bunch of, like, sticks of stuff, as we see that one is a glow thing, a highlighter, an ultra stick, and an all-color review. And we sort of see that she's grabbing these, right? And her friend is just on her cell phone, just going like, alright. And Mem-Cho's just like, I even got this project after I went to a party. I didn't want to end up going. I ended up bar hopping, and all this stuff happened, right? And her friend's just like, you don't want to be an idol anymore, right? And we sort of see Mem turn around, and we get this text on this white background, and she's just like, my dream. I'll do anything for it. As we see that the words, the DR in dream is just crossed out, which, I don't know, does that mean her name is Eam? Oh, okay, right, but pretty much just saying, like, she can't actually reach her dream like this. So she's just here, and she's like, for money, I'll do anything for money, heave ho, as we see all this is going on, right? And she's holding all of these sticks of stuff in her hand, and she turns around, she's like, well, I can't make money by being an idol, right? As her friend goes over and sort of goes around her shoulders like, hey, I see. Well, then let's join this mixture, right? She's like, Kirishia and Hugo will be there too. It's been a long time since you've had a boyfriend, right? As we see that Mims is like getting this like awkward smile, just like, okay. As we see there's this actual party going on, right? There's a bunch of things going on here. And we see Mem-Cho just sitting here, just like on her phone, like not doing a whole lot. As we see one of these people come over to do, and they're just like, hey, sup, Mem-Cho, don't be a party pooper now, right? And she's like, hey, it's Mem-Cho, get it right. And the guy's like, hey, come on, let's kiss, right? And we see Mem-Cho's like, somebody's filming this. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm too self-conscious, but I'll be in trouble if this leaks and I get butchered online for it. My dream of becoming that will never come true. As she's sort of looking at this guy who's sort of getting over her, as we flip the page and we see that she grabs her pocketbook or whatever and gets up, just like, sorry, I'm leaving, right? And we see her friend who's got a dude just hugging around her, right? Looking at her, and she's just like, oh man, geez. She's like, Mem-Cho's like, what the heck's going on here, right? As she runs out into the street, and she's just like, I'm still dying to become one after all. As she looks up at a billboard on the street she runs out to, and it looks like it's in the red light district or whatever. I mean, it really looks like where the most recent chapter ended off with Miyako, and pretty much pinning, what's his name, Saito on the ground, right? It looks like almost that same exact street. I don't know. Maybe Mengo Yokoyari likes to draw those streets. But we see the billboard has some idols on it. So yeah, pretty much saying that, yeah, Mem-Cho still wants to be an idol, right? And I don't know like what timeline this works in. Like, is this before she signed on with Become Nahanchi? Is this afterwards? When is this? I mean, it's very hard to tell right now. And that's literally all we got for this interlude. And it does say 1 of 4. So that's literally it, but there's just not a whole lot for now, just a tiny little snippet for you. And hey, I guess next time, which will be the 23rd of August of 2023, which, let's see, if this chapter came out on the 9th, yeah, it's going to be about, what's that, 2 weeks? So in our 2 weeks, and then we'll finally get this second part of the interlude, because I think Oshi no Ko will be fully returning in issue like 42 or 47 or it's something like that. Of pretty much it's happening later in September. So we've got about a month until Oshi no Ko actually returns as is. So until then, we'll get these interlude chapters and some shorter chapters to boot. So yeah, I mean, this was an interesting enough chapter. So alrighty. Mr. Glowplasma231 out.